What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered Live. This is our fifth episode live of Hurricanes Unfiltered. We bring it to you live every single Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do hope people are able to jump on board. If you are in the room, please do leave a comment. Welcome aboard, Cuban Kane, Jay Money, Rob Dukes. And as evening goes on, we should be on for probably about 60 to 90 minutes, shooting the proverbial poop. Apparently I cussed a little bit too much on the live stream on Saturday because YouTube demonetized the video. They said, "Oh, you did a little too much there." Yeah, I guess I did. When you lose to SMU and you pretty much throw your season up in the smoke. Yeah, man, you're gonna get the real from me. The funny thing is the post game did not get hit, but the 4 hour and 20-minute live got hit. What's up, Brian? Welcome aboard. Man, if you haven't seen some of the videos that I've dropped in the last 2 days, please do check them out. Whether it's the Willis McGahee banning and my feedback on that and my opinion on that, my commentary, please do check that out. That was about an hour-long video, and I think it's mind-blowing to see how the school has treated Willis McGahee, the offensive line having committed 9 penalties against SMU. Every single lineman in the starting lineup was penalized before halftime. The Miami Hurricanes are 128th in the country in penalties. What's up, Duke? Welcome aboard. It's the sixth time the Hurricanes have lost with it as a double-digit favorite as under Mario Cristobal, including 4 times in the last 2 seasons, with uh, 3 of the 4 losses coming in the month of November. You know, Also talked about accountability, reviewing his post-game press conference on Saturday. I've seen a lot of podcasts the last couple of days. I do watch a lot of people. Give me a second right here. I do watch a lot of people. I want to hear what people have to say. I want to hear their insight. I want to hear their thoughts. Whether it's podcasts like Locked On Canes, I do watch that. I did watch the Orange Bowl crew, I guess it is. I watched them. I checked out Nevin Shapiro podcast with Mike Torado today. I watched about 40 minutes of it. I didn't get through everything, but I like to listen to what everyone's got to say. I mean, that stuff always intrigues me because I like to hear differing opinions. I think it's really important to hear opinions of everybody. There were a couple more that I listened to briefly. Heard a lot of commentary from national media who have, they're going in now, man. Appreciate you. Welcome aboard, Patrick. They're going in right now hard. There was the one, I think it's College Football Addiction. I think that's the show, but maybe it's not the right show, but one where, no, it's Rufino show. I did watch them, and I tell you what, they torched Ruben Bain. They absolutely torched Ruben Bain. Welcome aboard, Mike Jeezy. Thanks for jumping on, bro. They torched Ruben Bain, and if you rewatch the game, they weren't wrong, man. They weren't wrong. He has not been the same guy for the last uh, few weeks, and I think there's a variety of reasons for that, and I'm going to explore them right now. Is that Armando Alvarez that I know? Are you the same Armando Alvarez that I've known for 20 plus years, bro? Or is this another one? Because I do know an Armando Alvarez. Um, Let me know, bro. Um, but yeah, they did torch. They went after Ruben Bain. They went after Jacoby Thomas, saying that that SMU kept attacking Jacoby Thomas. And again, there are people that are watching from different perspectives and vantage points. I'm probably a little too emotional at times, so I might lose a few things. I did watch the first half of the game again and parts of the third. I didn't get past the third quarter because it was 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Well, Saturday morning after the game, so Sunday morning, it was 4 a.m. and I got to about 5 a.m. and I kind of went to sleep after that. Oh man, appreciate you, Armando. Regards, I know an Armando Alvarez as well. So, but thanks for jumping on, bro. Yeah, it was. It messed with my sleep. It messed with my brain. It messed with my psyche. And this is even after watching the World Series, which incredible World Series game 7. I do hate the Dodgers, and I'm a Yankees fan, as you can see in the background. But I was pulling for the Blue Jays. I can't lie. That was an epic choke job by the Blue Jays. Jeez Louise. If any of y'all are into baseball, man, they lost 2 games. They lost 2 games back to back on double plays to end the game. I mean, that's craziness. Nonetheless, we live to have another day. The Miami Hurricanes have dropped to 18th in the poll. I'm actually surprised. I thought they would drop further in the poll. That was surprising. Hey, Cuban King, I still think Beck is. I think Beck is still one of the top quarterbacks in the country. I, I genuinely believe that they have fucked with his brain at this point. He was so frustrated on Saturday. His comments about we basically run the same shit the whole game. And then there was people saying that he ran the same. They kind of chopped up his quote where he was asked another question about what the defense ran, and he repeated, "We ran the same thing." Basically, they ran the same shit all game. And whether you take that as a shot at the coach or not, I don't give a shit. I don't care about the feelings of these coaches. They have absolutely screwed him. They have destroyed his confidence. He really was frustrated on Saturday. You saw the reactions. You saw how you could see it. And like after the pick to Jojo Trader, they turned it off. For the most part, they turned it off. They stopped trying to attack downfield. And it turns out that the argument between Shannon Dawson or the emotional outburst of Shannon Dawson with Mario Cristobal was actually about Marty Brown not hitting a hole. And I listened to the pressers today, kind of like I call it a word salad sandwich. They just mix it with dressing if they want to make it sound good. What's up, Ben? Welcome aboard, bro. You know, the fact of the matter is, he says they ran that play 4 times and 3 times they got 10 yards on it. Well, I can tell you that they didn't run that play the other 3 times on 4th and 1 or 3rd-and-1 situations against a full box, with 9 guys in the box. They did not run it with 9 people in the box. And people are really quick to take still shot photos and say, look at that big hole there. Well, problem one is you don't have running backs with the greatest vision, and they're making decisions like this. So they might, if their head isn't looking that way or their eyes aren't looking that way, they're not going to see that hole. If the play is drawn up to go to the left, oh, shoot, there's a hole to the right. If they're a little bit late, now that hole just closed. That hole can close like that. You know, welcome aboard, Beast. Appreciate you, man. The it's just one of these things where when people take still photos, like even if you look at the still photo shot that people were taking of the final pass to Malachi Tony, he ran the wrong. He didn't. It was a miscommunication of basically Malachi needed to keep running straight across on the crosser, and instead he deviated up, and that allowed the cut in front of allowed the DB to cut. Was the ball thrown well? No, it was late. The ball was late, but if he runs straight across, the ball is at the very least incomplete and not intercepted. So these are the types of mistakes that the Hurricanes continue to make. And it's really kind of embarrassing at this point to see the mistakes that they make game after game. And, you know, But yeah, I think they've destroyed Carson Beck's confidence. I think he feels like his coaches don't trust him. And I mean, I'll be real. I think they have treated him like that for pretty much the entire season. I mean, they've treated him like that for pretty much the entire season. They've kind of had him on a short leash. If you look back, I mean, this guy, you know, I didn't see the Shannon Sharp Ocho Cinco clip. I honestly couldn't care less what those idiots think. Those guys are fucking morons. So I don't really care what they think. I'm gonna be real. Like if you go look back at what he did when he was at Georgia, I mean that year they went 13-1. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 300 plus yard games. I mean, he threw for almost 400 yards against Kentucky. 313 Auburn, 315 against Florida, 306 Ole Miss, 298 Tennessee. He had great games throughout that season, and the fact of the matter is they don't even put him in the position to be successful. The amount of swing passes that we get to watch thrown in this game, the lack of running back screens, the let's keep running the ball into the A gap and keep doing the same thing that's being done. The 4th and 1s, the passing up of points, which has been done over and over again, the burning of a timeout, the unnecessary usage of a timeout. Like it's one thing after the other. In the presser today, I heard Mario Cristobal say, and I'm going to do a deeper dive video recording on that. But he made a comment about how first they haven't heard back from the ACC yet about the pass interference call that was picked up or the penalty on the timeout. I mean, I've been reading comments for a lot of today and yesterday. People posting it on some of my videos, and they're saying it's like the referee thing, bro. When you talk to me about referees, and I've coached football, I've coached basketball, I've coached soccer. We're always like referee complaining is something that everybody does. It doesn't matter whether they get everything right or one thing wrong or whatever it is. People are going to complain to complain. It's just how people get. But you have to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Did the Miami Hurricanes lose that game because the referee picked up a flag on a PI? No. Did the Miami Hurricanes lose that game because Marquise Lightfoot didn't hear the whistle? No. When you combine all the offensive penalties, for which even on the pre-snap penalties, which Shannon Dawson was correct on, they got first downs on all of them. On all of them. However, the holding penalty situations, which did happen, on every possession when they did that, they punted. They put themselves behind the sticks the entire game with silly penalties. And even if you say, oh, they got through that situation with the pre-snap penalties, it's still a negative. It's still a negative. And it has an impact throughout the game. And they continue to do it. I would like to see Shannon Dawson in the booth, not on the field. I don't know what an offensive coordinator sees from the field. You should be in the booth. That's where you see the field. Like the fact that you have and I think Corey Heatherman's on the field too. I don't know why any coordinator is on the field. Coordinators should be in the booth. That's where you can actually see the field. This is craziness to me that you're on the field. You can't see anything from there. If anyone's ever coached football and watched the game from the booth, comparison to the field, it's a massive difference. It's a massive difference. It's illogical. It's illogical. Maybe you'll start seeing what we're seeing when we're watching a game because we have almost a booth level viewpoint on television. Heck, the view I have at the game is more of a booth level view than the view that these guys have on the field. I find it very, very odd, to say the least, that they both coach from the field. The Shannon Dawson has a very, very laissez-faire attitude to me. He's kind of laughing and smiling about situations. It just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know how you feel about it if you've watched the press conference from today, but again, I will do a recap on his too. But he just was smiling a lot. Like, I don't know what the hell you are. I don't know what the hell you're smiling about. I have no idea. I have no idea. Because I'm still not smiling over that crap, you know. But yeah, he complained. He says the outburst was about his the running back missing a hole. Now, again, you're running that play on 4th and 1 with a stacked box, you know. And we will get into that, Jeezy, no question about it. The fact that that Manny Diaz has a better ACC record than Mario Cristobal does, and Manny Diaz is coaching at Duke. Manny Diaz has a better record than Mario Cristobal, and he's coaching at Duke. It's crazy. It's crazy when you really think about it. He's winning more games at Duke than Cristobal is at Miami. Like, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. There are updates also this week that CJ Daniels and OJ Frederick are going to be out for a couple of weeks. So we're going to have CJ Daniels out this week. OJ Frederick will be out this week. Ahmad Moulton is 50-50. Mark Fletcher, they didn't release. I don't know if I didn't see what he said about Mark Fletcher. So I will find out again. I'll look at it on the video when I do the recap of those videos. But man, Dawson said that that it wasn't that they took JoJo Trader out of the game. It's that's kind of how the game flows. What are you talking about? How the game flows. Do we not think that there are plays called for Malachi Tony? Do we not think that there are plays called for running backs? There are plays that you call specifically for certain players in certain situations. It seems crazy to me that you would sit here and say, well, we didn't take him out of the game, by the way. We simply it's the way the game flowed. You can tell now that teams are going to completely game plan for Malachi Tony. And so it is your job to figure out how to get him open in space, not force him to be a miracle worker on swing passes and screen passes. Josh, there is no game plan. Run the ball into the wall. Run the ball, swing pass. Run the ball, swing pass. It's with the way the pass with the way the line blocks and pass, it I don't know why they don't throw the ball so much more. They should throw the ball a truckload more because their offensive line really does block well in the pass. Carson Beck doesn't really have anyone put a hand on him, and that was a really, really, really good defensive line in terms of pass rush. If you look at the numbers, the SMU defensive line is a very good pass rush team. And yeah, so and they didn't get near him. They didn't get near him. And this is what happens when you go further into the season. There's more film, there's more things that people see about y'all, but it's on you to adjust and change what you do a little bit to keep them off balance. At the same time, once again, we're being told by these coaches that, yeah, well, they kind of dictate what we did. We played a team that gives away over 300 yards in passing per game, is the worst passing defense in Power 4 football, and we allowed them to dictate to us what we were going to do. I find that insane. I find that insane. You think they're always max protecting Cuban Cannon? I don't think they're always max protecting. Maybe a chip, but I don't know if they're always max protecting. I would be running 4 wide. I'd be running tempo. If you want to be real, you want to know what I would run with the offense that this team has? You want to know what I would run? I would run 2 wide receivers, a fucking tight end, a fullback, a lead fullback, and a running back. That's what I would run. If you want to run the damn ball and be a running team, put your damn quarterback under center. Let's go old school football and start smashing people. That's how you run the football if you want to be a running freaking team, not this freaking shotgun garbage. Line your quarterback under center, get a lead fullback. You got all the running backs in the world, tight end, or put a sixth offensive lineman out there and smash mouth football these dudes with two wide receivers. It ain't complicated. That stuff used to work. It still would. In fact, I think it would work even more now because people wouldn't even know what to do. These teams today are so dumb. Most of these teams are so dumb. It's that he's doing all this crap out of the shotgun. Like you like it's like you're running this trash out of gun. I hate spread offense. It's not football. That's called 7-on-7. That's 7-on-7 football. People might disagree with me on that, but that's all spread offense is to me. It's a bunch of 7-on-7 garbage. And I remember going to 7-on-7 tournaments for high schools, and you're seeing every high school team runs go to these 7-on-7s, and we won the 7-on-7 championship. Man, you got no offensive line. Your quarterback's gonna get crushed. You're so excited about 7-on-7 football. You got an offensive line that can't block anybody. You can't block anybody. And yet they run it, and then they're surprised when the season starts in high school, and they're like, "Oh, we can't do this." Well, no, because you got no line. You still need a line. You still need an offensive line to block for spread offense. If they can't pass block, it ain't gonna matter. I mean, you can run up. Yeah, you're right, Duke. You can run up the score. I mean, for Christ's sakes, SMU gave up 48 points to Baylor, man, and 35 to TCU. Crazy, man. Stuff is nuts. What's up, Stuart? Welcome aboard. So yeah, but no, I was actually surprised about the fact that Miami is ranked 18th. As I said, I mean, the question that I had was, I said season's over, and while is it over in terms of the playoffs? I think there's maybe a 10% chance. I think there's maybe a 10% chance, because Georgia Tech loses by 12 to NC State. You want to know what fun? It's funny. Florida State beat Wake Forest 42-7. 42-7. They beat Florida State beat Wake Forest 42-7. They're 42-0 in that game. That's the same team that beat SMU last week. Same team that beat SMU last week. Isn't that funny how it goes? We beat Florida State beats Wake beat SMU, and SMU beats us. It's incredible. But if you look at the rankings, Louisville's now ranked 14th, Virginia's 12th. Georgia Tech 16, we're at 18. Again, I'm actually kind of surprised. I think tomorrow we'll find out, have a better idea. I don't think it's all over yet, but it's close. What's up, Cell TV? Welcome aboard, man. I don't think it's all over yet. I thought it was all over, but I thought we'd be ranked in the 20s. Being ranked 18th, well, Georgia Tech has to play NC State on. They play Boston College. They have to host Pitt. They do play Pitt, and it's at home, but they play Pitt. Again, I don't care about the ACC championship. Realistically, we're not getting there. Virginia is going to probably get there. Louisville beat us, so that's a problem. Louisville still has Clemson. Louisville has to go to SMU, but again, they beat us, so they'd have the head-to-head. I don't know what the three-way. They play Clemson next week. Clemson stinks, but this ACC is crazy. It's a shit show. It is a shit show. And when you look at the teams ahead, some of these teams are going to lose. And I don't want to think that there's I'm not being an optimist, people. I think we're going to lose another game. Okay. I think we're going to, based on what we're watching, I think we're going to lose one more game for sure. Probably at Pitt. Let's put this scenario out here. I'm not getting my hopes up. I think I said it's a 10% chance, 5 to 10% chance. If Miami is ranked 12th or 11th somehow going into Pitt, and we lose at Pitt, what would y'all say to that? What would y'all say to that? If the Canes are ranked 11th, and I'm talking about in the college football playoff ranking, not in the AP. I think we've seen already that I've shown before that last year, our ranking in the CFP was actually higher than our ranking in the AP poll. So, and we do have that Notre Dame win, which is still good. The South Florida win is still a good win, whether people like it's still a better win. We still have the 3 ranked wins at this time when we played them. You got, I know Duke plays somebody. Who's Duke playing? Duke plays Virginia, I believe it is. Virginia plays Wake Forest, Duke, and Virginia Tech. Wake Forest just beat SMU, for freaking Christ's sakes. I like this, but I don't think Virginia is gonna. I think Virginia will get there. They got that gift of losing to NC State, even though it was a non-conference game. We're not gonna lose to Syracuse. Like, that's not gonna happen. People, we're not losing to Syracuse. We're not losing to Syracuse. Like, Syracuse is horrible. Syracuse has a quarterback that was a walk-on from lacrosse or something like that. They've got nothing. They've got nothing. We're not going to lose to Syracuse. I'm more concerned about is if we beat Syracuse by 50. I mean, because if we don't beat Syracuse by 50, that will be irritating to me. Syracuse is dreadful. Their quarterback's not a third stringer, man. Their receivers are not third stringers. I don't know what third stringers they got playing for SMU, but okay. They're playing with a quarterback that, I mean, people, I mean, we can be real, bro. They had at quarterback in their last game against North Carolina a guy by the name of Joseph Filardi, a freshman. He threw for 39 yards. He was 4 for 18. He was 4 for 18. I don't have any concerns about playing Syracuse. And he was the starter. I expect Miami's defense to hold them to under 150 yards of offense. I think Miami's going to win this game like 45 to fucking nothing. I really do. It's going to be they should win by a truckload. We're not losing to Syracuse. We're not losing to Syracuse. It's not. If we lost, listen here. If we lost to Syracuse, I think all of the support that the Moss brothers have for Mario Cristobal would go up in smoke immediately. Immediately. Like, there would be no defending it if we lost to Syracuse. Absolutely no defending losing to Syracuse. No, Miami leading all power forward. Yeah, but that's not. Miami wasn't a 30-point favorite over SMU, dude. Come on. They're not playing a quarterback. If they lost to Syracuse, that would be disastrous. I'm telling you right now, if they lost to Syracuse, you would probably have 10 decommitments overnight. Overnight, you would lose 10 commitments. It would be catastrophic. They lost to North Carolina 27-10. North Carolina's horrendous. Like, you would lose 10 commitments overnight. The goal now at this point, and I mean, I know people are going to be are not happy about it, and I understand it. The goal at this point has got to be get to 10 wins, man. Win 10 games and win a bowl game. Obviously, it's easier said than done. You finish 11-2. There are lots of people that didn't think this team would win 10 games. I'll be real. Like, I've listened to predictions, and lots of people that didn't think they'd win 10 games. You know, I'm not arguing anything that y'all saying. I promise you, I am not. I'm not disagreeing with y'all in a lot of what you're saying. But yeah, we're not losing to Syracuse. I just would be. It would be devastating to get to the point of being ranked like 11th and then lose to Pittsburgh. That would be devastating. That would, God, but I could see it happening. Oh boy. Yeah, the problem R6 is that everyone who can leave for the draft would opt out of the bowl game. And we'd be playing with a bunch of backups. Yeah, we had that 11. Well, I'm gonna be real. That 11 win last year that pissed me off because you know what? I was pissed off at Cam Ward. I'll be real. I was pissed at Cam Ward when Cam Ward bailed out on that. That pissed me off. I pissed me off. Pissed me off because we needed to win that game. That game was important. People thought it wasn't. That was important. When Xavier Restrepo opted out, that pissed me off. I didn't like that. That's fine. He shouldn't have played the first half either. Then, if he was going to bail, he shouldn't have played the first half. He shouldn't have played at all. The entire winter practices should have been for the backup. Yeah. And last year we got lucky a bunch. We got the Vatek game we escaped with. We had the Cal game that we escaped with. We had some fortunate things happen. You know. I know professional football players now who like that stuff still matters to them. You know, that still matters to them regardless. And you're no longer a free athlete. You're a paid athlete. You're a paid athlete. Patrick, I understand that. I would rather him not have played at all because they didn't announce that he wasn't only going to play the first half. That was never announced. It happened when it happened, and we found out when it happened. No one told anybody that he was only playing the first half. And I think I hate that shit. Like you're not going to get me to change my thoughts on that shit ever. I don't agree with guys opting out. This disaster of opting out happened started with Christian McCaffrey. I hate it. I hate it. Yes, I know. Get the record and sit the second half out, and then you watch us lose the game, and then it's like now they could say, oh, they couldn't beat a ranked team. Well, yeah, we would have beat that ranked team if Cam Ward had not sat out the second half. But that 11th win matters to me. That does. It matters to a lot of people. Let's listen here, people. We are in a situation right now where there's all kinds of excuses that have been made by this program, and if you didn't hear it before, you'll hear it right now. Our depth is supposed to be better, but our backup quarterback still sucks. Our backup quarterback still stinks. Emory Williams is nothing. Like he's not good. So yeah, I'm not gonna swear my life on Emory Williams. Sorry. Like he'll never play a meaningful snap at Miami ever again. He'll be in the portal this year probably. I mean, he'd be crazy not to. You know, I don't know what's going on with why we don't get like why these bigger name recruits are not like Luke whatever Nickel is not the backup. Why is he not the backup quarterback? Stewart, yes, it's every week a giant air sandwich. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, God, my train of thought. Yeah. So Kurt Signetti comes to Indiana last year. Yeah, Darion Coleman should be the backup quarterback next year. And they should go get Cedric Bailey, CJ Bailey out of NC State, bring him back down here. I mean, I'm hearing obviously from different shows that he's a done deal to come to Miami, which would be the only way you probably keep JoJo Trader down here. But let's ask this question right here. Well, you can't have the season fall apart. What are you gonna do? You want to bench Carson Beck? You bench Carson Beck, Miami goes 6-6. You bench Carson Beck, we go 6-6. Like we have to stop this blame Carson Beck for everything situation. If you bench why the fuck isn't he getting playing time? Who? Luke Fickle or Nickel, whatever the fuck his name, Nickel? I would. He'd be my backup. It wouldn't be Emory Williams. But at the same time, yeah, this is Mario, so he's a great recruiter. Someone posed the question: would he go to being the, the director of recruiting? I mean, could he be the general manager and just deals with recruiting? You can't pay that guy $8 million a year, though. Yeah, he should be the backup because Emory Williams, we know what he is. He's not very good. Yeah, but we never have a big enough lead really to give the backup any time. We gave the backup time against freaking Florida State, didn't we? Didn't the backup play against Florida State a little bit, or was it Carson Beck? He played. Which game was it that he played? He played against Stanford. Emory Williams did. He played against USF. Played against USF. He played against Bethune-Cookman. Did he play against Florida State? I don't remember, honestly. I know he played against USF because that was the only complete game that we've played all season. It's the only complete game, and I think he did play against Stanford. Yeah, he did. He was the last drive when we scored to make it 42-7. That you don't. This is part of the problem with running this run the ball down your throat bullshit and not getting leads is that you can't ever actually develop backups and develop talent because they never get any playing time. Why isn't Gerard Pringle playing? This guy's a speed demon. He's a 4-3 running back. Get that dude out there. Get him out there when the game actually matters. I mean, get him out there when the shit actually matters. No, I mean, so I think there is a slim possibility that Miami could still somehow magically make the playoffs, but it requires winning every game. It requires winning every single game, and it requires winning them rather convincingly, in my opinion. Look, you beat Pittsburgh at Pitt, it's going to be a good win. People can say what they want. It's going to be a good win because they're going to be like 9-2. I mean, who does Pitt play? Who does Pitt play the rest of the way? Pitt. They got they play Notre Dame. Oh, shit. Maybe not. Pitt plays Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and Miami. Now they might be 7-4. Fuck. Here's the question. Do you want Pitt to lose to Notre Dame or beat Notre Dame? You want Pitt to beat Georgia Tech because you didn't play Georgia Tech. But do you want them to beat Notre Dame? We need them to beat Georgia Tech on the road. You think we need the Notre Dame to lose to Pitt? So if that happens, then and that's a home game for Pitt. If that happens, then Pitt's 9-2 coming into that game against Miami. I think you want Pitt to lose to Notre Dame personally. Because I think Notre Dame has to be 10-2 for Miami. I don't know what y'all think about it. I think Notre Dame got to be 10-2 for Miami. I think it's helpful. If they take Notre Dame over Miami with Miami as a head-to-head winner, and they're ranked like one behind the other, that would be some shit right there. Then we would have the argument of 2000 in Florida State over Miami. But at least back then that was just 2 teams. It wasn't 12. Oh boy. We don't have an injured quarterback though, so yeah. If Pitt's 9-2, Pitt's ranked in the top 15. Would you agree? So we're all over the place in this. Some people say Pitt has to lose. Some people say Pitt has to win. If Pitt's 9-2, Pitt's a top 15 team, would you say? Because that means they would beat Notre Dame and Georgia Tech back to back. Let's hear some comments on that. I'm curious. What is your opinion on that? Do you think that is that changes anything? So if Pitt's a top 15 team when Miami plays them, and Miami's 9-2, and Miami goes to Pitt and wins, I know what Heather Dinich said. I heard it. I heard it literally today on Locked On Canes. Brian, I'm sure you heard. Did you hear the same thing? I heard it on Locked On Canes. If Miami's 9-2 and Pitt's 9-2, and Miami beats Pitt at Pitt, and they're ranked top 15, does that not have any credibility for a big win? The kid Heinzel's good. He's really good. I'm asking folks. I want to hear opinions. Do you think that's considered to be a big win? That's a fourth ranked win at the time we play them, and it won't. And Notre Dame's not going to drop out of the poll because they lose to Pitt. Heck, I don't think Georgia Tech would drop out of the poll losing to Pitt, and we would be top 15 also. If we're 9-2, we're probably ranked 13th, 12th, 13th, somewhere in there, 12, 13, 14. You bring a fourth ranked win. That's why that's the 5 to 10%. That's the 5 to 10%. Let's say none of this happens. Let's say none of this happens. And I'm not the optimist, people, by the way. I'm not the optimist type of guy. Let's say none of that happens. Let's say Miami's 10-2 and they don't make the playoffs. It's still important, man. For the sake of the program and potential and recruiting and getting guys in, it's still important. We gotta win 11 games. Again, do I think it's gonna happen? Probably not. Not unless there's some wholesale changes in what we're doing. You know, I wouldn't be giving Mario an extension for shit. He has 6 more years on his contract. Like, what does this need to give these coaches extensions when they have 6 years on a contract? Mario Cristobal's not quitting. Mario Cristobal has no other suitors that are going to come say, hey, Mario, we'll give you $10 million a year. Come on over here to Florida. You think Mario Cristobal would leave Miami to go to Florida or some other school, Alabama? They'd run Mario like they would run Mario Cristobal out of Alabama so damn fast. It would be crazy. This is Mario's end-all be-all job. This is Mario's end-all be-all job. He can go to Penn State and ruin them. Go ahead. Go to Penn State. I don't think Penn State's offered him $10 million. I don't think UCLA's offered him $10 million. Like, he ain't going anywhere. So what the hell do you got to give a guy an extension for when he's got 6 years left on a contract? Jeezy, I think if Miami and Pitt are 9-2 and we beat Pitt, I think we're in the playoffs. I mean, that's that 5 to 10% that I'm talking about. That's what has to me. That's what has to happen. So, man, that's wild. That's wild. Colorado State. Who wants to bring Manny Diaz back to Miami? You want to have Manny Diaz come back here? I think Pitt has to beat Notre Dame. I'm going to be real. I think Pitt has to beat Notre Dame. I think that makes giving Miami a fourth ranked win because Pitt, here's the bullcrap about everything. And this is what people are ignoring. This is what the polls, what pisses me off about the polls, right? Pitt's still not ranked. Pitt is not even they're getting votes in the coaches poll. They're got 35 votes. So they're 28th in the AP. They're 30th in the coaches poll. Now, they're 7-2. I'm only using Pitt as the example because when they lost to West Virginia, the quarterback that they're using right now wasn't the quarterback. And they lost 31-24. When they lost to Louisville, 34-27. The quarterback they're using right now is not the quarterback that was playing against Louisville. The quarterback that they're using right now was the guy that started against Boston College, Mason Heinschel, and he is undefeated at quarterback. He is 5-0 as a starting quarterback. He's won 48-7, 34-31, 30-13, 50. He beat NC State by 19, 53-34, and Stanford 35-20. Now, Pitt's defense can get scored on. But this kid is moving the ball. And he's a freshman. Yes, he's a freshman. If Pitt was in the SEC, yes, they're top 20 easy. But because they're in the ACC, they're not even ranked. That's what makes the polls a fucking joke. Tennessee Tennessee is ranked 23rd. Tennessee's losses, they're 6-3. Their losses come against Georgia, Alabama, and Oklahoma. Their wins are against Syracuse, East Tennessee State, UAB. What's Arkansas's record? 2-7 Arkansas, 3-5 Kentucky, and 5-4 Mississippi State. And Mississippi State's 1-4 in conference. And Tennessee's ranked 23rd. That's preposterous. And what they'll say is Oklahoma beat a ranked Tennessee squad. Alabama beat a ranked Tennessee squad. Georgia beat a ranked Tennessee squad. What? How is this team ranked? They don't have a win worth dog shit. They have no good win. They don't have one good win. Appreciate you, Lester. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Vanderbilt loses to Texas, and they go from 10 to 15. They're still ahead of Miami. They still got to play Auburn, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Utah, I'm not worried about Utah. Utah could be a best of. They're Big 10. They're Big 12, so they don't really matter. They're going to play. They already lost to BYU, and they'll end up playing BYU again, I guess, for the Big 12 championship, more than likely. Or no, they might. I mean, no, they're actually they're 4-2 in conference. They're not even in the conversation, so I'm not worried about them. The BYU versus Texas Tech, more than likely, I guess. There'll only be one Big 12 team in there. Michigan is ranked 21st. They have wins over Washington, Michigan State, Purdue, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Central Michigan, and New Mexico. They lost to Oklahoma and they lost to USC. They don't have a ranked win. The only ranked team they play the rest of the year is against Ohio State. Hell, they'll probably beat Ohio State at home. Who knows? Like, these rankings are all dog shit, and that's what kills me about all this stuff. Like, Oklahoma lost to Texas 23-6 and lost to Ole Miss. And their wins are against Auburn, who just fired their coach. They beat Michigan, Temple, Illinois State, Kent State, and Tennessee. They play Alabama this week, Missouri the week after, and LSU after that. They're going to lose to Alabama, and they'll knock Oklahoma out. The fact that I got to cheer for Alabama is crazy. I got to cheer for Alabama to beat Oklahoma. I don't want them to just beat Oklahoma. I want them to drum Oklahoma. Texas Tech is playing BYU this week. That's a big game, actually. That's actually next. That's this weekend. That's a big one. BYU, UCF, West Virginia. If BYU beats Texas Tech, they're out of the conversation because then they won't even play in the Big 12 championship. Ole Miss still has to play the Citadel. Ole Miss has the Citadel in week 10. Florida and Mississippi State. They might not lose again. Georgia still has on schedule Mississippi State, Texas, UNC Charlotte in week 11. And that Georgia Tech game, I kind of want Georgia Tech to beat Georgia. I don't know. I don't even know there. UVA would be 3-1-5 with the tie. Oh, 5-1 we'd be 5-1-1, and UVA would be 3-1-5. Oh, let's see what else in these freaking ridiculous rankings. I'm just looking at the possibilities. Anyone behind Miami, I'm not really concerned about because as Miami wins, they're okay. Louisville still has to play Cal, Clemson, and they go to SMU and then in Kentucky. SMU's not even ranked still, so it's like they beat us, they're still not ranked. Think about that crap. They beat Miami and they only got 7 votes in the AP, and None in the coaches. Well, 6 in the coaches poll. Um, Texas, they still have Georgia. So I guess we're cheering for Georgia now. We need Georgia to beat the crap out of Texas, I presume. Arkansas and Texas A&M. I'm gonna presume Texas is gonna lose to either Georgia or Texas A&M. What do y'all think? Patrick, man, I gotta keep some level of reason to watch this shit, man. Don't you? We need a reason to watch this stuff. We need a reason. Texas A&M plays Missouri. So let's say Texas A&M loses at Missouri this weekend and then beats Texas. I mean, and then they lose in the conference. I don't even know who the hell playing the conference title. R6, come on. Apathy hasn't set in. You're here, man. You're here. We're on a hate watch. Bro, oh my goodness. Hey, man. It could be that we're the basketball. I mean, the basketball team right now, by the way, is playing its opener against Podunk High School. They're playing right now against Jacksonville. They're up 66-49, by the way. I don't know a single person on the basketball team right now. What would it take to win the rest of these games? I think an act of God. Yo, we can't. I'm telling you, we can't afford to lose these games. We have to win these games. I mean, we got to win these games. We have to. Shit. By the way, just so you know, I don't know who's in South Florida who's currently in this chat right now. But are you going to the game if you have tickets? Are any of y'all going to the game? I know Jeezy, I know you're up in Jacksonville. Is anyone down here in South Florida who's going to the game? I don't know what any of these players are. I don't know who plays for the Hurricanes basketball team. Malik Renault, Shelton Henderson, Ernest Udet Jr., True Washington, and Trey Donaldson, Salih Altuntas, Timotej Malavek, Jordan Key, Dante Allen, Marcus Allen. Oh, Marcus Allen transferred to Miami. Oh shit, he went to Northern High School. He's a local guy. Oh, cool. Nice to have him back home. So anyone down here though that's going to the game against Syracuse this weekend? I'm asking because I'm actually going to be at the game. I mean, I have tickets. I go to the games, and I mean I am credentialed, but I don't go into the media booth unless it's just to get like the paper or whatever. And then I go back to my seat. I sit in section CC 254 in the Cornerstone Club, and I'm gonna bring my iPad and do a live from the stadium. I don't know if would people be interested in that because I did a live this past weekend and we got I mean hell we had close to over 900 people in the live, especially in the fourth quarter, but consistently like between 120 and 300 people throughout the game. And I'm gonna do a live from the stadium. I'll have to tone myself down because I'll probably get kicked out of the stadium otherwise. I don't know. Are any of y'all, would y'all be interested in that and seeing a live from the stadium? Obviously, I'm not showing the game. I don't even know if I could from because I'll be at the stadium. I have to have the camera on me naturally. But let me know what do y'all think of that? Would that be of interest? Would that be something that y'all would watch? Because it does take some effort to do this. So just want to see if y'all are interested in actually. The game this week is obviously at 3:30. Have they announced next week's game time? Next week, 3:30 as well. So Miami, Syracuse 3:30. Miami, NC State's at 3:30 as well. So the next two games are at 3:30. Both of them. Thank God. I'm so sick of those freaking night games. I absolutely despise these night games. I don't know why people like this shit. I hate them. I hate night games. All right, Brian. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna do it. So thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I'm so tired of these stupid night games. Night games drive me crazy. So let's see what the current college football, whatever I don't they call these stupid things done by ESPN. I guess Paul Feinbaum has returned. That douchebag. That guy's a flipping doucher, man. He was blowing us, and now all of a sudden, Jeezy, I'm gonna be live. So now all of a sudden you got this doucher comes back and he's gonna talk shit about Miami because that's who he is. We know who he is. He's a doucher. Can suck a dick. Hate that guy. They got Miami at number 19 in the ESPN power ranking. I'll tell you what, the CJ Daniels situation, he needs to get healthy. He needs to get healthy. We absolutely need him on the field. We absolutely need him on the field. Yeah. But SMU, let's look at SMU real quick, man. SMU, God, not SMU, Syracuse. Syracuse, I'm losing my brain. Syracuse, bro. Oh, that first. You want to know what's crazy about that play to JoJo Trader? Yeah, I have to stop the cussing. Yes, at least a little bit. I have to tone the cussing down a little bit, right? I've been good tonight. Come on, Cuban. I've been good tonight, bro. You're Cuban. You're Cuban. You cuss. I'm Cuban too. God darn it. We're an emotional being. It's funny. It's like, oh, anyone interested in boxing? Apparently, Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis are no longer going to fight because Gervonta Davis is going through some criminal and civil issues. Fletcher's out. I don't think Fletcher's playing. Fletcher got hurt on Saturday. They did not say what it was, but Fletcher is probably not playing this weekend. That's my guess. We'll get that lower extremity nonsense. No, they won't snatch the channel. They just will demonetize the video. No, it's not. They're not going to snatch the channel. They're just going to demonetize the video. So, who are the other hurricane channels that y'all watch? I mean, I wonder what I of course he got a concussion running into. Oh my god! What other channels do you guys watch? Because obviously I just got into hurricane, doing the hurricane podcast this season after kind of being away for a bit. Well, what other ones do you watch? I'm just curious because I do watch a bunch of them. I mean, I do like to support other channels, and I hope they all do great. Definitely, I do. I have checked out the whatchamacallit, the breakdowns and stuff like that. I don't have the time or the energy to do that stuff. That stuff takes forever. Anyone who's breaking down film, man, that takes forever. I watched Alex Dono today. I was watching Locked On Canes today. That's where I heard the thing about Heather Dinich. I was actually watching it like 2 hours ago when I was driving home. You know. Uh oh man. Yeah, because obviously I like to differentiate myself. I think everyone's a lot. I think the only one that's kind of similar to me in terms of approach. Tell you, I actually enjoy. It's funny. I enjoy listening to the Nevin stuff because whether people like it or not, he still knows people there, man. Like there are people still talk to this guy, right? But when he says I can't cuss, I think that's hilarious. Actually, I think that's freaking hilarious. He says, I'm not allowed to cuss. And I'm sitting here like, get the freak out of here, bro. And then he tells, like today he was telling Mike Torado, you're the moderator. You take care. You'll lead me. And every 3 seconds he jumps right on in. You're like, dude, you just told the man he's the moderator, man. Let him man get the sentence out. Let the question get out before you jump in, bro. Let Torado ask the question. You jump in every 3 freaking seconds. It's kind of like me. I do that too. I can't lie. Um, through the smoke. That's inside the U, right? Is that David? Is that Dave? Does David do that podcast? David Lake? See, here's the one thing about me that I think people will like. I like entertainment. I like comedy. I like making stuff fun. I also like emotion and passion. And if your voice just does this for 30 minutes straight, I can't. I just can't. I need inflection. I need it to go woo woo woo. I need you to go from throwing your hat to I need it to be, I need it to have some like dun, 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 dun. I did a joint one with John and Cafecito with Canes, con Canes. That was my first I jumped on his. He was actually a guest on my first live, so that was cool. That was a lot of fun. I'm always up for collaboration with people. I mean, obviously I'm growing and they may have more of a following. I like emotional variance. Absolutely. I like it. If I'm just hearing the same monotone thing for 30 minutes, like that might as well be the Calm app and put me to sleep. I need that emotional component because it's funny. I don't know how many. Like I said, I don't know how many people are at the games, but bro, I'll sit in my seat and man, oh man, let me. Hey, if any of those channels that you watch, they want to do a collaboration and jump on board and do a co-broadcast of Hurricanes Unfiltered, and they can do it to their channel, and I'll do it to mine, and maybe I bring some people to them, and they'll bring some more people to me. I mean, that would be great. I'm always down for that. Appreciate you, Jake. Um, you know, yeah, I'm always up for it. But where I'm sitting, these people in the it's the Cornerstone Club, so it's indoors. So you have the more chill, you have the more chill mentality of people there, right? And they're not really watching the game. They don't really care that much. They're just there type of thing. You know what I mean? They all if you ever watch Waterboy, it's like, oh, we score. Oh, slap hands, slap hands. Ah! Like, like what? How about you get pissed off when we screw up? How about you lose your crap when we screw up, bro? I think this weekend Hard Rock's gonna be probably half empty. Yo, I had 2 extra tickets last game. I couldn't sell them for $50. Those are $160 tickets a game. I couldn't sell them for $50. But it's like people in the damn. I get loud and it's like, yo, is there anyone in here? Do these people actually watch the games? Do they care if we win or lose? Like I care. Like I care. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I'm emotional, bro. It's like there's no electricity, man. Like it's like it's like the fans have to help the team, not the team help the fans. Get up, say something, open your mouth. It's driving me nuts. Cristobal would lose 2 games in 2001. Maybe, maybe. I don't know if he would have lost with them. That would have been hard because that's the type of offense that he likes. He wants the two wide receivers, full lead fullback, running back, tight end. And here's the thing, and this is something that I think people are really missing is we don't have a tight end. I'll say it again and again and again and again. We don't have a tight end. The tight end situation is a problem. We do not have a tight end. I'm curious to see, do we have a tight end that we have in our recruiting class? We don't have a tight end. And that's a big issue. Right now, Miami's class has 25 commitments. They're ranked 11th on 24/7. USC has number one class. They got 35. That's because they got 35 commitments. Okay. So Miami's got 25 commitments. And Israel Briggs, he's 6. This isn't a tight end. Israel Briggs is a tight end recruit. He's number 6 at the position. I knew we had a tight end issue. He's 200 pounds. How is it a 200-pound tight end? That is the only tight end in the class. A 200-pound tight end. And he's a 4-star athlete. You don't know. I don't love 87. I don't love number 9. I don't love number 9. I don't love 87. I can tell you that for sure. Do not love either one of those guys. It's funny, you see general manager and director of player personnel. Whatever. Good Lord. Give me a break. I don't think Lofton's any good. He can't block. And then he proved to me he can't catch. We have one tight end in this recruiting class, and he's 6'4.5", 200 pounds. You better be looking for one in the transfer portal. You better be. You know what I saw some people post, and look, I don't know if anyone here feels this way, but man, we need to stop blaming officials for everything and crying about everything that we want to make up as a no call. There was somebody that I saw post that they said that the play with Lofton was helmet to helmet and should have been called targeting. Targeting? First of all, he got hit with the shoulder. He got hit with the shoulder. Anytime the helmet grazes a helmet, are we going to cry targeting? Catch the ball. The ball was on the other side of your body. Catch it, go down. No, he goes to catch it, and then he wants to turn around. Like, what are you turning around for? You're in the end zone. What are you doing? He literally turned his body into a hit, and someone's crying for a targeting penalty. Oh my goodness! Like this is what kills me. You're supposed to win this game by a lot, and you're sitting here crying about saying this was a targeting penalty. I mean, the posts on Instagram are out of control. They're nuts. Some of these posts are sitting here like, are we watching the same thing? Are you just looking for something? There was a play. The play where Carson Beck scrambled all around and dude got called. Which one? I don't know which guy it was. McCoy got called for illegal man downfield. Now, I think it was McCoy. I kind of have an issue with the call there because I kind of have an issue in the call because of the fact that he was engaged in a block. He was blocking the guy. He was still kind of blocking the guy. And so I guess you can't block the guy to that point. Like, so if you pancakes the guy down 9 yards down the field, it wasn't even that far. It might have been 5 or whatever. But they called that, and that's fine. They called it, whatever. But there was somebody who posted saying, did you see Malachi Tony get mugged? I'm sitting here like, mugged? I saw the play. You know what happened with Malachi Tony on that play? Please, let's explain. Carson Beck's running around, right? He's escaping the pocket, escaping pressure. And the defensive player, Malachi Tony, ran into each other. That's not passing. Someone said that was illegal contact. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. It is not. They ran into each other. That's incidental contact. And it actually happened twice on the play because they ran into each other. He goes down. He gets back. They both went down. He gets back up and he turns around. He runs into somebody else. And you're like, what are we talking about, guys? You know, it's like, come on, bro. It's like, come on. Are we just making up looking for every nonsensical thing we want to call a penalty and say, oh, they cheated us there too? It's like, come on. This game shouldn't have been close. This game shouldn't have been close. It's like we look for stuff we committed 196 yards of penalties. It's a football field of penalties. We got Francis Malgoa literally grabbing dude by the shoulder pads and throwing him down. It's holding. I don't think that was PI either in overtime. I thought that was incidental contact. Again, I don't think it was. I've seen worse, not called. I've seen worse, not called. Again, I think we're always looking for stuff. Make plays. Don't drop balls. We had 5 drops. That's what I forgot. Every possession where we got called for holding or dropped the pass ended up in a punt. Every possession. You know who said that? Shannon Dawson said that today. That was the quote every drop pass and every hold, every possession where we had that happen ended up in a punt. Catch the freaking ball. Catch the ball. Like if you start watching from the opposite way, see how many times there are calls that we don't have called on us that you probably could call on us. I would say that. That's I don't complain about referees a lot. I really don't. I'm not that guy. I don't have the energy for it. I don't have the energy to just complain about referees all day. Because if that's what I'm doing, then I'm again, once again, what's the word? The word of the day. Accountability. Your coach after the game is blaming referees. He's not accountable. And when he does that on camera and he makes excuses for his defensive end, he's literally making him unaccountable for what he did. Cristobal lacks accountability for everything. If any of you have kids, and I don't like refs either. If any of you have kids, if your kid comes home with an F on a test, do you blame the kid or you blame his teacher? Do you blame your child or you blame the teacher? You blame the teacher. You blame your kid. Your kid is the problem. If your kid's getting an F on a test, is it your kid or the teacher? Mario Cristobal blames the teacher. Mario blames the freaking teacher. Hey, Corey Heatherman had his own flaws this weekend too. Like they were flaws. So I just find it like when you're sitting, I don't blame the teacher unless I can know the teacher's not teaching, I don't blame the teacher when my kid doesn't study. If my kid doesn't study, how is that the teacher's fault? If my child does not study for a test, how do I blame the teacher? Yeah, we got to get back to work. No, mother. Let me ask y'all a question on this one again. I don't know the age of the demo that we have right here. If your kid brings home 3 straight Fs on tests, what exactly do you do? Yeah, we give up 20 to SMU. We should have scored 40. We're playing SMU. They have no defense. So you blame your kid. I blame my kid. My kid doesn't study. My kid gets an F. When my kid, I know my sons. When my sons, my older one especially, when my older son studies, he gets A's and B's. When he chooses that day to not study for a test, DF. Oh, I forgot. Oh, that's the teacher's fault, right? No, it's your fault. But so Lester, you're taking me off of my thought when you do these comments, man. I need you to take this. The thing is, The man's always blaming somebody else. He doesn't have accountability. The team doesn't have accountability. So if your child sees that you're always blaming somebody else, well, your child's gonna blame somebody else. Your child will have no accountability, zero accountability, and the players have no accountability. So what would you do if your kid had brought home 3 straight Fs? What would you do? You'd punish your kid. You take away the Xbox. You take away the PlayStation. You might belt his ass. I don't know. I'm not saying go beat your kid, but sometimes you might need to. You would literally take away stuff. You would literally take away stuff. Would I rather give up 365 passing yards with -3 rushing yards or 200 in the air? I'd rather give up 365 in the air. Actually, but actually, I don't know. Yeah, I would rather give 365 in the air. Yeah, I'd rather give 365 in the air. Yeah, because I'm going to presume that if they have -3 rushing or was -2 going into at the end of regulation, that we're winning by 30 because they got nothing on the ground. That their offense was one-dimensional as hell, and they're doing that because we're beating the brakes in. I just think there were issues that Heatherman had in terms of the fact that Jacoby Thomas was getting attacked most of the game, and there was no adjustment. Like, you have to adjust a little bit. Like, you have to protect. If Jacoby Thomas is having issues like this, figure it out, fix it. I'll give you. But so, like I said, if my kid brings home 3 straight Fs, I'm gonna punish him. It's not. But Mario, the only guy he punishes is JoJo Trader. The only guy that he punishes is JoJo Trader. Why haven't any of the offensive linemen gotten benched? Why haven't any of the offensive linemen gotten benched? That is the question. That is the question that I asked. That is accountability. If you bench Francis Malgoa for committing 2 holdings in this game, if you bench Inez Cooper for committing back-to-back penalties, like 2 penalties in 5 plays in this game, maybe it gets across to your team that this crap is unacceptable. Instead, he says, well, let's go back to work. Who has their job next week? Who is starting on Saturday? Are we starting the same 5 guys that had 8 penalties at halftime or 7 penalties at halftime? Are those the same starters? Because the only guy that got taken out of the game plan after making a mistake on Saturday was JoJo Trader. And Dawson says, no, it really wasn't that. It's the defense it's what the defense get. No. JoJo was taken out of that game. He made some great catches. He made one down the middle of the field for the touchdown. He made one on the sideline, a great catch there. Yeah, he dropped one. And that definitely turned the table of the game. And really, if you watch that play, if he catches that ball, it's a touchdown. If he catches that ball, it's a touchdown. Go watch the play again if you haven't seen it. Where the DB was positioned, if he catches that ball, he cuts right inside. The DB's on the outside. He can cut right inside. He's gone. Touchdown. That play could have been a touchdown. It could have been a touchdown. If you watch that, go watch that play again. When I watched it again on Saturday at 4 o'clock in the morning, I was like, yo, that's a touchdown. Or a big gain. It wouldn't have been stopped right there. He had beaten the DB. The other guy coming over the top kind of was moving the wrong direction. A simple cutback, he's gone. Instead, he bobbles it, and it turns into an interception. But he's the only guy that gets punished for mistakes. The only guy. The linemen are not being punished. We have the best linemen in the country. We have the best this. They're so tough. They're so physical. Da-da-da-da-da. How do you run the same shit with the 8 guys in the box? Exactly. How? It was a humongous drop. And yes, it was very, very costly. It didn't cost us the football game. When you combine all the plays together, yeah, then it costs you a football game. But that individual play, we still led 10-7 at halftime. Should have been up 14-7 at halftime, but our play calling was freaking terrible. We go back up 17-14, have the ball, chance to make it bigger. We give it back. They go 17-17. We go up 20-17. I mean, all the short yardage plays. We have the ball, chance to run the clock out. We didn't need a bomb from Carson Beck. It was 3rd and 8. I don't know why we had no one running a crosser, a slant, or a crosser for 8 to 10 yards. First down right there, the game is over. And I'm not putting that on Carson Beck. because we don't run any plays over the middle of the field. We don't run any plays over the middle of the field. Go watch the wide receiver routes. Do you ever see a slant? Do you ever see a cross over the middle? Nothing. You don't see it. You don't see it. And that's what's so damn frustrating. It's what is so frustrating. There's no seam passes. That's also because we don't have a tight end. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put Joshua Moore, who's 6'4", 215 pounds, and I'm going to play him at tight end. What do you say? I'm going to get that big dude on the field and put him in mismatches where he will annihilate linebackers and safeties. What would you think of that? No wheel routes, nothing. I don't got to play Joshua Moore at wide receiver. I can play him at tight end. We don't have a tight end. Joshua Moore is a huge dude. Elijah Lofton is 6'3", 230. 6'3", 230. And Joshua Moore is 6'4", 215. I'm putting him at tight end. Why not? Hell, Jimmy Graham was a basketball player. I covered Jimmy Graham playing basketball back when I was covering a team for Inside the U. Put the damn athlete at tight end. No, we're going to go run the guy that can't catch or can't block. If I'm going to have a guy that can't block, I'm going to have a damn guy that can run. I'm going to have that 4.4 speed out there playing tight end. I don't know what Joshua Moore runs. I presume he runs a 4.4, 4.5. I'm sure he's faster than Elijah Lofton. And I'm sure he's way faster than Alex Bauman. So what in the world? I'm going to have that dude playing tight end. I'm going to have 4 wide if this is what we're doing. But he doesn't bench anybody unless the guy's name is JoJo Trader. There's no accountability. And that's why I compare it to your kids, because if you allow your children to see stuff and watch you do things, what are they going to do? They're going to do what you do. I feel it's crazy that we have to compare this to kids. R6, yeah, it's too creative, man. He'll block better than 87 and Lofton, because Lofton blocks worse than 87 and Bauman. Lofton's a worse blocker than Bauman. O-line doesn't get punished. You know what they do? They run laps, I guess. Maybe they run gassers. Maybe they do up downs. No, bench these dudes. Bench these guys. And I'm not saying you bench them all, because you can't bench them all, because then you're running a whole bunch of backups out there. But you got to bench somebody's got to be made an example of. Somebody on that line should be made an example of. And I know who I would probably make the example of. I'd probably be making an example of Inez Cooper right now. I understand the problems at center. If that's the situation at center, the guy behind is probably worse. The guy behind is probably worse. So if you bench him, the guy behind him is probably way worse. Just saying. That the center position, I understand it. That's the one I might not mess with, just because I know you have the guy behind him can't be better. And I'm not saying the guys behind the other guys are better. I'm saying that if you keep letting them do this, they're just going to keep doing it, and it's going to keep hurting your team. And at the end of the day, you're going to keep losing games because at the end of you're going to end up keep losing games because you're going to keep committing these terrible penalties. But again, there's no accountability. But Mario will get up and say it's the referee's fault. You know, he's going to say it's the referee's fault. And that's the issue. That's the issue. you want to start a freshman at center, I mean, that's very, very risky. So again, hey, if they wanted to do it, again, whoever you bench, somebody should be getting benched. When you have this type of consistent mistake making by your offensive line and you never punish anybody and nobody ever loses their job, like I said, bench them, mother freaker. Bench them. Bench them. Make them earn their job back. Make them earn their job back. And yeah, I would start Joshua Moore at tight end. Now we would figure this thing out. Because I'm going to get Joshua Moore in a one-on-one with a linebacker. That's barbecue chicken. That's barbecue chicken. A one-on-one with a safety, barbecue chicken. Like, it won't even be, it'll be ridiculous. But again, that requires creativity and thought and thinking outside the box. And clearly these are things that this team doesn't do much of. But yeah, I live on that. I live on that account. That accountability thing is a big thing for me. And he's let's go back and work hard. No, let's work smart. Let's work smart. And look, you have the right opponent to try shit out with this weekend. I mean, Syracuse is terrible. I know where probably people are being tongue in cheek. You can bench Coop. He's been terrible. Inez Cooper's been terrible of late. Ever since that Florida thing where he was running his mouth about Cormani McClain, he's been terrible. He hasn't been good. He's been penalized a whole lot. Whole lot. You want to, you can go. I would not, the ones I wouldn't touch the tackles. I'm more geared towards benching guards. You can touch, I mean, you can. I mean, you can't. Well, we had it versus Stanford, but we didn't because it was 7-7 at halftime. But it was 7-7 at halftime. Appreciate that comment right there. I appreciate it. Maybe they'll figure this thing out because I would love to have him play tight end and see what's what. Yeah, but that's on coaching. Again, that's coaching. I'm saying, well, Syracuse is worse than all these guys. Syracuse is not going to get 150 yards on us. It's about the offense getting, scoring some points. No, the confidence has been shattered by Mario in so many ways of so many players. So yeah, Syracuse's only win was against Clemson, but that was when they had their quarterback. Angeli's been gone for weeks now. Yeah, and that's what his name, Angeli. Yeah, he's still their leading passer. It's amazing. 4 weeks later, he's still their leading passer. But yeah, guys, I that's the way I would be looking at it. That's how I would look at it. But we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. And I think this week you have a lot of opportunity to get guys in the game, but you have to jump out and you have to punch these guys in the face in the first half and go up big. You got to go up big. Jeezy, I don't know why you don't bench players. Like, you can bench guys. Like, I don't know. He ain't a leader of Josh, he's not a leader of shit. Leaders lead by example. What's his example? I'm going to put it like this. Do leaders, I found the stuff that he did against Cormani McClain hilarious, right? Kind of old school stuff, the swag bullcrap. But the swag bullcrap only matters when you back it up on the field. Since that game against Florida, Cooper has been terrible. He has not been good. He's been terrible. And the fact that he's a leader, he ain't leading by example. Usually you get the swag stuff from the receivers, the pretty boys, the divas, the receivers, the corners. That's the swag stuff. Linemen are supposed to freaking be not jumping on their freaking social media, TikTok, Instagram in the locker room after a game and saying, "Come on, McClain," And again, I thought it was funny at the time. At the time, I thought it was great. But I also thought he was going to back it up in future weeks and not look like trash in future weeks. You can do a lot of these things, but the whole in the locker room, you're still in your pads and you're running your mouth. Bro, you're a 6'4", 340 pound lineman, and you want to fight with a 6 foot tall, 6'1", 185-pound cornerback? What are you? You want to take on a lightweight? You're a heavyweight? It was hilarious at the time. I thought it was hilarious. I wouldn't have done it in the locker room. I'd have waited until after I left the locker room because I think it looks bad in the locker room. Like you're doing the social media stuff with these kids today is crazy. But now who looks like a clown? Who's the one that's committing penalty after penalty in games? Who's the one that's getting blown off the ball in games? Who's the one missing blocks in games? He is. So, yo, if you're here right now, still, I appreciate y'all being in the room. I'm about to jump off. If you haven't done so yet, I do have merch, Hurricanes Unfiltered. This is embroidered. This is embroidered right here. This is a heavyweight shirt. I do have shirts that are not embroidered, that are like, what do you call it? Like iron screen print. They're not like plastic, but they're in the shirt material. Appreciate it if you want, if you like the merch, go check it out. If you're interested in it, do grab yourself some merch. It is available on in my store. The hats, there's t-shirts. There's shirts for women. So if you have a wife or a girlfriend, they do have the tank, the cutoff mid-level. I just posted the link right there. They also have so the ultra soft tee is the iron-on. Where is the stitched on embroidered stuff? I gotta put the embroidered one in the store. There's a sweatshirt. So yeah, go check it out. If you're interested, appreciate it. If you're interested in it, go check it out and grab yourself some merch. But that's going to wrap it up today for this evening, man. I appreciate everyone jumping on board. I thank y'all so very, very much. I'm going to have some more content posted tomorrow, reviewing the different stuff on the, the different stuff on these press conferences. But again, yeah, Hurricanes Unfiltered. And if you're at the game, and listen, if you're at the game and you see me at the game, I will have lanyards if you do go to the games. But I do appreciate y'all jumping on board. Josh, Brian, Patrick, Jeezy, Cuban, Salim Family Office R6. Let's see who else we got in here still who's commented. Duke, I know you were in here earlier. I don't know if you're still here. Ben Daniel, you were here. Juan Rodriguez. I know a Juan Rodriguez also, actually. I have a good friend who's a Juan Rodriguez, but he's a Florida State graduate, so I know it's not him. Lester, thank you very much for jumping on board. And if I missed anybody, my apologies. Jake Tapper, Orlando Cantu. But again, thank y'all so very much for jumping on board here. David Portnoy. I presume that's not the Dave Portnoy from Barstool. If you are, get me under your banner if you're the Dave Portnoy from Barstool. But that's about it, man. I appreciate y'all. Once again, if you want some of that merch, go click on the link. And I do have other merch lines on there. Combat Corner. I do combat sports. If you have interest in combat sports, I do have combat sports as well. So check it all out. I appreciate y'all once again. And also, I do have a website. I do write up some stories now and again. And all the videos are a lot of videos are posted there. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. Check out the website. The website's free. You can go take a look at it if you're interested. Oh, also, follow on Instagram. Hurricanes Unfiltered. On Instagram, that is the Hurricanes show, Hurricanes Unfiltered. And then, of course, our main, the main show is Come On Now podcast. So do follow us on the different social media platforms on Instagram. That's really the one that I use the most. I know people TikTok. I don't do a lot of TikTok stuff, to be honest. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you, Josh. Everybody. Thank you, Jeezy. Everybody. I will see you later this week, and I will be live on Saturday from the game. So do jump on board, and then next Monday we'll be back here again, 9 p.m. And I do a show with a buddy of mine, Ben Daniel, every Sunday night called Sunday Night Heat. every Sunday at 8 p.m. We talk about all kinds of sports. So, and we did do some hurricane stuff this week. So it was rough. Appreciate y'all. It's Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Let's go, Canes. Come on now.